Hi everyone, you're listening to the Student Music Network, and today we're diving into Luca George's dreamy world of melancholy pop, cinematic heartbreak, and emotional honesty. So, Luca, first of all, congratulations on your new on Say Hi to Paula. It feels so raw. It feels so cinematic. It's like a film that sort of goes from heartbreak to healing. So, how did you want people to feel when they listen to the songs from start to finish?
I honestly think if you could find yourself in any of the lyrics or the stories, I think that's kind of my goal when I write. I write from very real and current stories and like situations in my life, so I feel like if you can feel like a tiny bit less alone when listening, I think that's all I want as an artist. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So you've
Yeah.
been described as having this beautiful mix of vulnerability and confidence in your sound. So how did that balance come to you as an artist?
I think by listening to I listen to so many other artists. I think artists like Ray, Tom Odell, new artists like Sienna Spyro, Olivia Dean, like all of these like incredible artists that like really, really dive deep lyrically. I think they've inspired me. Um, yeah, like I like to like dig so deep when I'm writing until I almost feel uncomfortable. Um, I've worked with artists like Gabrielle Aplin, who have kind of like inspired, um, that as well. So yeah, I like to dig really really deep when I'm writing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so what is one thing you wish people understood about being vulnerable in music, from your own work and from listening to all of these artists?
Mm, I think it can be hard sometimes. Like I think like especially when it comes to live and like having to kind of almost like relive the story every time you sing it. I'm like quite an emotional person, and so, for example, like "Son of an Angel," which is a song on the EP, I get like really emotional every time I sing that. It's about my relationship with my dad and how I've struggled with that over the years. So I actually nearly almost cry like every time I perform that. So, yeah, I think that's probably one of the hardest things, but it's also like a form of therapy. Like you actually get to process it, and all your issues that you're writing about.
I think it must also be really rewarding, like finding people who resonate with those lyrics then, and
Totally.
then yeah,
Yeah.
and then when they're singing back to you in the concerts,
Oh
that
my
must be a
god, yeah.
beautiful feeling.
No,
Yeah.
that is the craziest feeling. Like, even like with, especially with songs that like aren't out, or like so like I opened for Peach PRC, and so basically what all of the like super fans of Peach would do, they'd like go to every show and they'd record my songs and then like go home and learn it, and then come back to the show. And so like the fact that like people are actually like loving the music that much and feeling that they can relate to it that deeply and like actually learning the lyrics is kind of like insane to me. So it is really really cool.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it's actually
Yeah, that must
happening.
be so rewarding.
It is very very
Yeah.
rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of that, like let's talk about "Flowers for You," which is
Okay.
the heartbreak anthem
Thank you.
that
Yeah.
somehow makes rejection feel like devotion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's such a stunning metaphor, like showing up for someone who maybe doesn't want you anymore, still with love and flowers in hand.
Yeah.
And you wrote this one with Caleb Harper from
Mm-hmm.
Spacey Jane, which is such an incredible collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So can you take me back to that writing session with Caleb and Constantine and how like that sort of happened? What was the process like?
It was the best session of my entire life. Like
Yeah.
I write so much music, and that was the best session. It was at the end of a writing week. So Peach PRC, Constantine, who's like a big Australian producer, and someone else. They put on this songwriting camp, and so it was the last day of the songwriting camp. I was fully out of ideas, and I basically just came into the studio and I was like, what are we all feeling like today? Like, how do you want to go by this? Like, my brain's kind of fried. And Constantine, the producer, came up with this guitar line, and I went to the bathroom to go pee. And I'd just broken up with my boyfriend, and we were like talking about this. We were talking about like, how I'm like potentially thinking about getting back with him. And that morning, he sent me a message, my ex, basically being like, the only word I have for you is disappointed. I was like, I'm so disappointed in how you've handled this like breakup, blah 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 blah. And in my eyes, I thought I did so well. And so I was like, okay, you know, like if this guy needs to, if this guy needs to hate me, if he needs to hate me, that's okay. Like I'm willing to like wait until like, you know, he's over that almost. And so that's kind of where it came from. I went to the bathroom and I was peeing. I was in the moment I was like, okay, maybe like today's concept could be like, you know, someone could hate you so much, but like it's someone you love and care about so much that you're willing to show up for them no matter what. You know, they could rip out your heart, they could slash the tires of your car, they could kill your family, no matter what, like you'll be at their front door waiting with flowers for them. So that's kind of what it's about. And it was, oh my god, sorry, I could go on it for forever. I love that song.
Yeah, I think it almost shows like who you are as a person as opposed to, you know, other people. And, you know, we never know where inspiration can strike. So
Totally. Yeah. No, you know, it's so true. Yeah. There's stories everywhere. So, yeah.
Yeah. And in the music video, you know, you're on a bike with this huge bouquet and it's like sort of falling apart as you ride, which is such a poetic visual.
Thank you.
So how did that concept come to you? What was the thought process? Where did that inspiration strike?
I had this image of a massive bouquet of flowers on the back of a bike from Pinterest. And I just had this one image, and basically we were talking to the directors about this, how we were going to do it. And as we were talking, I came up with the idea of basically like using, I think it was, it's called Mistake by Gracie Abrams, or do you know the song title? Do you know the name?
Mistake.
Is it Mistake or
It has the word mistake in it.
It's something Mistake.
No, that's the
It's something like that, but anyway, it's like
Yeah.
it's this music video by Gracie Abrams, and she basically makes a cake, and she's making this cake in the kitchen, and she goes out to deliver the cake to like her lover or this party, and she walks out the front door and it falls, and so she goes back inside and then remakes the cake, and basically the music video is Mess It Up. So there's this music video, Mess It Up by Gracie Abrams. And anyway, it ends up being the whole driveway is covered with cakes because she's tried a million times, and that's kind of where the idea came from. It was like, you know, like I'm biking across a country to deliver these flowers for this guy. And throughout the music video, the flowers are slowly falling and the bouquet gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And by the time I get to his house, there's one tiny little flower left. And I pick it up from the basket and I present it to him, and he slams the door in my face. And it's basically what the song is. It's like, you know, you're willing to show up no matter how hard it is and no matter how much they don't want you. And then it's met with a no. So yeah. I loved creating that music video.
Yeah, I think the whole imagery in the song was just so beautiful.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate that.
You know, and especially because there's such a beautiful ache in the song.
Yeah.
Like, but there's also, I think, a sense of hope.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, like, do you think heartbreak can teach you something about love, something about hope as well?
I think so. I think, you know, there's like, what's that saying? I don't even want to say that because it's really cringe. I'm not going to say that. But no, I definitely, I definitely think so. I think there's like, I think a couple of the songs actually do have hope in it randomly. Like Flowers for You definitely does. And then there's also Broken, which is like, you know, finding the okay in broken. I remember, you know, playing that for people and like them like literally breaking down because they've got people, you know, in their lives that describe feeling broken and like seeing no hope. Like my little cousin came up to me and said how much he was being bullied and like in primary school, and so like I described the whole idea with like, you know, you can find okay and broken and all that stuff, and especially for a little one, like hearing that and like you know learning that mantra, I think it can be pretty cool, I think. Yeah.
And I think that's so important for especially the younger generations to hear as well. I think like it's okay to, you know, just have that hope and to hold on to that hope as well.
Yeah.
And like going along with that, like you've described your goal as wanting to make the world cry in the most beautiful way.
Yes.
I love that.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
So what does the beauty in sadness mean to you, and how does that resonate with the whole idea?
I think personally, it just comes from a place of like loving sad music myself.
Yeah, I completely relate.
Yeah. Right? Okay, I love that.
I could have like the best day and I would go home and it's like the saddest playlist ever.
Yeah. Oh, I will wake up and just instantly put on sad music. But I'll still have a good day. Like I don't let it like make me sad. But I think I don't know. I just personally love it so much, and like
Yeah.
you can tell with the artists that I love and listen to. Like Sienna Sparrow is like literally my favorite. Like she's doing it so well right now, and yeah. So I do really love sad music. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, each song has its own color, its own mood. So from the chaos of crying in the bathroom to the bittersweet calm of Better Apart, how do visuals and color influence your songwriting?
Massively. Like I don't know if I actually have synesthesia, but like it's kind of obvious which things are like I don't know. Like it's obvious. Like certain songs are certain things. When I write a song, I will normally come up with a whole folder or file for the concept before I write it, and then I'll bring it into the studio. So I'll have like with Broken, I had an entire like Pinterest board with images and like broken dolls, and like there was what is it called? It's like it's not Alice in Wonderland. There's something with like a broken marble doll, and she's made out of like china, and she's broken, and so I had like all of those like
Yeah, I have the visual but not the name.
yeah. So like all that kind of stuff, and yeah, so color is really, really important to me. I always like will tell the director or like the stylist or all those things like to make sure that all of the colors kind of like match the sound of the song and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
why it's great we're all color coordinated today.
Exactly. Green.
It's all green.
Yeah. I let everyone know that we were feeling green today. Love it.
Yeah, and you've worked with an incredible list of collaborators. So how do you decide who you want to bring into your emotional world? Who's led in first into that process, and how do you decide that?
What a great question. I've never really thought about that. I like don't I honestly like I normally get put into sessions, so I actually have no choice. And it's like sometimes it actually doesn't go that well. Like sometimes I actually do feel uncomfortable being open with like certain people. But
That's human nature.
yeah, exactly. I think like people like match each other's energies, but most of the time I am pretty good. Like I worked with a producer called Joe Wonder, and like it was during the song week I was writing like 3 songs a day. Like 3 like writing and recording, and I remember I don't even remember this, but I basically walked in. I like kicked the door down. I kicked the door open and I just walked in and I was like, "Sup sluts, who's ready to write a hit?" And I hadn't met them yet, and so that like kind of like broke the ice, and then we wrote like we wrote "Godless" and "You'll Never Know Me Sober" that day. So 2 big songs of mine.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So what were any of these collaborations like? Out of all of these, who was the one that was like the most like uplifting moment, or the most like, wow, I can't believe this is happening? Who was that one collaborator, do you think?
Probably my dear friend Gabrielle Aplin, and then also I've got this amazing friend of mine, Rita May. She's also an artist, but she is one of the most incredible writers I've ever worked with. So I reckon those 2.
Yeah. And what was your playlist looking like when you were writing all of these songs?
Just the most depressing thing you could possibly think of. It's really bad. Like I will literally, I reckon I've got like maybe like 500 and maybe like 50 songs on my playlist.
Yeah.
And I reckon I've curated the saddest playlist of all time.
I hope we can see like a glimpse of the playlist one day, I think.
I'm actually pretty sure it's public.
Okay,
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so be sure to check that out as well.
Yeah. But like it's also really random because I'll have like Cat's Eye.
Yeah.
And then like like a bunch of like real like upbeat ones throughout.
I think that is how listening to sad music goes though.
Yeah.
Like I will be like jamming to Cat's Eye, and then all of a sudden I'm like crying about something which maybe hasn't even happened to me, but it's like, wow, I just love this song. The lyricism in sad music.
Right.
is
Have
really,
you seen
really good.
Have you seen Cat's Eye perform?
No, I have not. Unfortunately, it's only through my TikTok.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
wish I could.
They're pretty
I
cool.
want to see the gnarly performance.
Oh
I
my
want to
God,
see
same.
Gabriella.
Na, na,
Yeah,
na,
it looks
na,
so
na.
sick.
It does.
Yeah, manifesting that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we go forward, after Say Hi to Paula, what kind of stories are you looking forward to talking about next?
I still just want to like, I don't know, I still think I'm a baby artist, so like I've still got so much more to say and like development to go, and like I haven't really performed much live yet, so there's still so much I want to do, but most of it's already written. So
Okay.
I've actually
Oh.
got it's all we've got all the music ready. So yeah, you guys will be hearing it soon. I'm really
Okay,
excited.
yeah. Hopefully we get like glimpses at any
Yeah.
upcoming shows, like unreleased. I think that's always such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know.
Yeah, that's great. And you've been described as one of the future 25 by Rolling Stone. So what kind of future do you see yourself for right now?
I want to go slow. Like I do. I want to be one of the biggest artists in the world. I think that's like my dream, and but I've got so much. I've got so much more to go. I just want to perform lots. I want to connect with as many people as possible, and I think that's. I think I'm going to do that through like doing smaller shows at first. I think lots of my songs are really intimate and personal, and I think going straight into like big venues, opening for bigger artists, I don't know if that'll actually be the best thing for me. So I think, I don't know, start slow and like slowly build and grow like a strong fan base, I think.
Yeah, and I completely agree because I think building that fan connection, and those would be the fans which will show up to you,
Exactly.
years from now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really beautiful thing. I think that you're doing
Yeah,
that.
thank you. I really
And
appreciate
yeah.
that.
So, but if you could get a hint, maybe like if
Okay.
say Hi to Paula is about like heartbreak and
Okay.
self-discovery,
Mhm.
what would the next chapter sort of be like? Is it a bit more like less about heartbreak, or would you say it's a bit more sort of the same wavelength, but maybe a little different genre or something? What are you sort of looking forward to experimenting with?
I think I think it'll be just like a bigger step up from this project.
Yeah.
I think like it's bigger sounding songs, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to keep it open. I'm excited for you to hear it.
Yeah, same, and we're excited to listen to it.
Thank you. I really
And
appreciate that.
yeah, and that's like basically it. So thank you
Hey,
so much
thank
for
you.
being here,
No,
and
thank you
be
for
sure
having
to check out all of Luca's amazing songs and on social media and on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you use. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.